What would you say real quick to an independent brokerage owner who's just thinking about the future and they're wavering back and forth between, should I keep doing this on my own or should I at least have a conversation?
I think there's always going to be room for the independent broker, depending on how he wants to market himself and do his business and whether he's managing or selling or, whatever the process would be. But once that independent broker begins to grow his company, the demands put on him by his real estate agents will become more significant, because the agents today, they're all independent contractors and they want more and more and more. That's why you have so many 100%ers.
Yeah.
That's why you have Remax. That's why you have these other agencies popping up paying where the agents just pay a fee.
Yeah.
And they work underneath that brokerage umbrella, and they may not be without training, but and then they're free to go out and build their own business and do whatever they want. But Keller Williams does offer, I think, the same, what do I say? The same compensation factors.
Right.
Only, and with that, there's more meat and potatoes involved.
Yeah, more value. Yeah,
more value added.
Okay, Leonard, will you tell me a little bit about the brokerage and specifically your all's roles within the brokerage?
Sure. Well, the brokerage was actually started in 1940. It was just basically my father and mother. He passed away in 59, and she continued the brokerage. And then in 1971, I had graduated from college, spent time in the service, came back from Vietnam. And so in 69, I had my sales license and I worked for 2 years, and then I got my broker's license. So I've been a broker for, now it'll be 50 years. So then I think probably in the mid 70s, I started to grow the brokerage. Mm-hmm. I was president of I was pretty active at one time in OAR, in NAR, and also, so I started to grow the brokerage in 1974. We started adding people, and obviously the business kept growing. And Ohio Real Estate Commission required me, because we did asset management, required me to transfer my broker's license over to Fairfield Homes. So at that time, then I had a couple managers, then I hired another broker, and he was in place for probably almost 30 years. And so we continued to grow that business. We became the dominant player in our market area. And we were the dominant player by probably 20, 30 million.
Wow. So,
and we focused on having good quality top agents and good producers. Obviously I did not have my brokers. I had to transfer it at that time. So when my broker retired, then we were faced with the situation of hiring either another broker or a manager. In either case, I convinced the commission to bifurcate my license between the two companies because of identity of interest. And I didn't want to do the day-to-day of the brokerage. We've had a number of national houses approach us over the years. Remax, Prudential, Berkshire Hathaway, all of them. So, but we were doing pretty well, and we were working under the concept that, our brokers could take, or our associates could take home a bigger check.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, by the time, I think we were losing some of our people due to the fact that, they found other agencies more attractive because of the enhanced training, such as Keller Williams has to offer.
Yeah.
And that's definitely more appealing to when you're trying to bring and recruit a new agent.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, we just didn't. And by the time I hire another broker, pay the broker, and our arrangement, wasn't lucrative enough for us to go down that path anymore.
Yeah.
So then we started looking at affiliating with other brokerage houses. We were approached by Better Homes and Gardens, and we were approached by Remax. And but I personally reached out to Keller Williams. And so I talked to, I think your supervisor, is it Mark?
Yes. Who,
Yes.
by the way, just FYI, I don't know, you probably didn't see this, but this week he just got promoted to president of Keller Williams. He is Gary Keller's right hand now, president of our company.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we're
great.
We're
Great.
super excited for Mark. Leonard, why did you reach out to Keller Williams out of all the other ones?
Well, I reached out to them because, well, believe it or not, my son-in-law down in Florida had gone with Keller Williams, and he was very impressed with their training and what they had to offer. So from that perspective, I thought that, and I liked their the whole, once Mark sent me a whole packet of information, or maybe you sent it to me. After reading through it, I thought the whole profit share arrangement, the fact that you get capped, it doesn't go ad infinitum. So the fact that you get capped, and I thought that those were appealing from the standpoint of my agents, to make sure I took good care of my agents.
Yeah.
So
how important was keeping the brand that you built and your family built for so many years? How important was the thought process of keeping that brand alive?
Well, I think that was important.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we couldn't create a brand name that encompassed, that's why you and I had a conversation about me creating a market area with KW, and maybe it'd be KW, Gorsuch Realty Company, Lancaster and surrounding area. But it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So that's why we ended up sitting at the table with Mick Gordon and Dela Bishop, and we talked about how we could structure a deal that makes sense for everybody.
Yep. Jennifer, do you want to talk a little bit? Will you speak into how the transition was?
Yes, definitely. So just to give a little bit of insight, when I joined the company in 2008 and immediately went and got my real estate license. And then from there, my father and I were partners in Gorsuch Realty. So there was, we built on that. I learned from him, his expertise, and we could continue to build that company. So I had been with Gorsuch Realty for a little while here before the transition. And I will say that transition was extremely smooth. So one of the successful factors of it was the heavy level of communication.
Yeah.
I think there's Keller Williams, the company, and especially your role has a huge strength in communication. So it didn't stall out. And even when my father and I were questioning things about the brand and how is this going to look, and you and what your role provides, I think was critical in how our brokerage transitioned into KW.
Yeah, I thank you for saying that. I think sometimes it's nice to kind of have a middle person, because we did a lot of communication between us, and then I did a lot of communication with the OP and the team leader of the market center, and then we came together there. So it was kind of I would agree, take me out of it. It was nice to have the communication flow.
Yeah, it was. And we ended up having a series of meetings with Nick and Dela. But before those meetings started, you did a lot of, and your role was critical to lay that groundwork. So we could enter into conversations that didn't have to be super awkward. And we knew, both sides knew where the negotiations, were going to go. And then I would say that as far as the team that we partnered with Nick and Dela, they showed up super prepared. They made it extremely easy for us. They did all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
So it was nice. And we felt that, our conversations with our agents were transparent, authentic, and I think that, it really helped for my father and I to be able to truly say, we care about you, and this is, how, and it was a very smooth transition. Those agents today are very happy with where they are, and
that was my next question.
Continue to be successful.
Did any of the agents choose not to go?
There were, I think, 1 to 3 agents. I think one agent went, but then soon retired.
Yeah, we had one agent retire.
Mm-hmm.
We had one that transferred and then decided that she wanted to be more with a local company. I hate to see her transfer, only because I think long term she's a relatively new agent, but I think long term she'll be good.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think that we just had those 2 people.
That's great. That's really
so out of the 22 agents, I think we transferred maybe 20 agents licenses. Yeah.
So just to kind of wrap up, how do you guys feel now? What has it done for you now? Little leverage, maybe.
Yeah, and I would say, I mean, for me, I'm in the day-to-day part of business, and so for me, I feel very good where the agents are, and they're growing their businesses, and I have the bandwidth to be able to apply my skill set to other parts of the business that need me. So that feels good.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome.
So yeah, I mean, from that perspective, since I was the broker, obviously I was responsible, had to sign off, review all the contracts, the deals. So from that perspective, it's been very enlightening for me. From that, because that's, when you're the broker in charge, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I was going to add to that, to what Leonard said, is that there's it was really good timing, because we were going to have to, invest in, Keller Williams brought this excellent training program that was really going to elevate our agents. So there were a lot of complementary services that our brokerage was ready to lean into and engage. So I would say the timing was real, and it was good.
Okay, I know I said last question, but I just thought of one more. What would you say real quick to an independent brokerage owner who's just thinking about the future and they're wavering back and forth between, should I keep doing this on my own, or should I at least have a conversation?
I think there's always going to be room for the independent broker, depending on how he wants to market himself and do his business, and whether he's managing or selling or, whatever the process would be. But, once that independent broker begins to grow his company, the demands put on him by his real estate agents will become more significant, because the agents today, they're all independent contractors, and they want more and more and more. That's why you have so many 100%ers.
Yeah.
That's why you have Remax. That's why you have these other agencies popping up, paying where the agents just pay a fee.
Yeah.
And they work underneath that brokerage umbrella, and they may not be without training, but and then they're free to go out and build their own business and do whatever they want. But Keller Williams does offer, I think, the same the same, what do I say? It is the same compensation factors,
Right.
only, and with that, there's more meat and potatoes involved.
Yeah. More value. Yeah.
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 More value added. Yep, exactly.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think the independent broker is always going to be around,
Yeah.
but
It's a different game now. Technology's changed things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I would encourage, there's never harm to have a conversation, and
Yeah.
Keller Williams definitely offers a mature and professional conversation. So whether something happens with that independent brokerage today or 5 years down the road, the conversation is professional. So
Yeah. One, Gary Keller's always taught me every great business person always knows their options. And I think that's a good way to put it.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you and I had a conversation about us exploring the KW
Right.
franchise and bringing it down here. And that, I looked at it from the same perspective as I did from hiring another broker to take my place. And by the time I go through all the compensation package for him, what I need to offer my agents to retain them.
Yeah.
Like I said, it just wasn't, even though we were the premier agency in our area, our market area.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's tough. It's a game of numbers. I mean, if you look at all the merger acquisitions that take place in the marketplace this day, I mean, it's just, look at the Amazons of the world buying company after company, and the Apples, buying different companies. So it's a game of numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, did you see Zillow just bought Showing Time? So
Who did they buy?
Showing Time, the platform that we all use to schedule the showings through the MLS.
Oh, wow. That's not healthy.
No, it's not. It's interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, no, that's not healthy at all, because I think, Gary Keller made the comment that the Zillows and the Trulias are going to be the biggest competition going forward for
100%. Yeah, they
brokers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not healthy.
Yeah. Well, we love being in business with you guys. It was a great partnership, and I appreciate your time so very much.
Sure.
Thanks,
All
Dana.
right,
Great
Dana.
to see you.
You too.
You take care.